Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at a very strong team for the current Spring Cup. We're going to have a team here that I built already in the top team video with Carbink, and I have to say this team was amazing. You most likely see this video if you're actually like a channel member, you see it quite early. But yeah, you're going to see it's most likely on Wednesday or something. This team was super good for me. I highly recommend you to try it out. Got me very high in terms of elo as well, and honestly, it's just perfect. Like, you're going to have here the face-up of Dugong, and I have to say, Dugong is literally the glue for this team. Don't think there's an option that you can use instead. Like, you could go, for example, for something like a Tentacruel might work out as well, or something like a Warrain, but for me, Dugong was like so perfect for this team. We're going to have in the lead the Trevenant, which was a very strong Pokemon as well. And in the bank, Carbink. Carbink actually, like, I was thinking, okay, Carbink might be very decent in this cup, but like I was not really too sure about it. But after using it, I'm even like more like kind of, I don't know, like I find it's kind of amazing how strong this Pokemon actually is, and I have not seen a single person use it. Of course, there are some weaknesses about this Pokemon which you can talk about as well, and also we can talk about why this Pokemon completely vanished from the Open Great League. But still, this Pokemon is still insanely bulky, kind of like a Bastiodon, while having great coverage, a great typing, and is still going to be able to, tank a lot of hits here, as we can see with the Feraligatr and its Hydro Cannon, as he can win this first game. So, what is a little bit of an issue for this Pokemon, as well as maybe even for this team? We're going to have the lead of the Trevenant, which is going to be great against Pokemon like maybe, I don't know, a Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn would be very difficult for our Carbink in the back, and our Trevenant is definitely going to help us with this. But, one thing still that can be a little bit tricky for this team, depends on which situation you're going to face this Pokemon, is going to be Empoleon. Empoleon is going to have still actually kind of a strong matchup against your lead as well. Like, Trevenant is going to be able to get a shield advantage, but I think you lose a 2-shield scenario against this Pokemon. And you still have at least like Drill Run on your Say-Swap, which is kind of nice. So if you bait out the Empoleon with your Say-Swap, it's actually kind of really good for you. But this Pokemon going to be a little bit of an issue, and this is also kind of showcasing why Carbink completely vanished from the Open Great League. Since basically Steel Wing got buffed like crazy, and also Skarmory got this move, Carbink basically is completely gone. I don't know when the last time was where I faced a Carbink, and before it was like literally everywhere. So kind of interesting to see how this can change, but of course you have to be careful for those Steel types. If you feel like this team is a little bit too weak against Empoleon, maybe try something in the lead like Poliwrath, but this is going to definitely make you a little bit weaker against something like a Lantern, so it's definitely a little bit of a trickier matchup there. But still, this team was already amazing like this. I would just keep it like this, and as you can see here, Carbink can farm them down. Next opponent, we're going to have a Lantern in the lead, which is going to be great for us. It's exactly why we want to have this here. And here is one more thing about Carbink. Carbink completely resists everything that the opponent is wanting to throw here, because basically, the locked-in moveset for this kind of meta is going to be Brutal Swing and Overheat. Doubt that you're going to see anything other than this, and both moves going to be resisted by us, and both moves are also going to be non-step. So we're going to stay in this matchup for quite a long time, because we can just go for the entire farm down against the opponent's Galarian Weezing. And Galarian Weezing is kind of known to be like one of the best Pokemon, basically the freest Pokemon to use in this current meta, but not with Carbink. Carbink just gets a ton of energy, up to 100 energy here. We can go for a Moonblast, and that's not all. We're actually going to get the attack drop here as well, which is absolutely wild, while we can still get to another move. And also, remember, we have energy stored into our Trevenant, and so if they would actually let us realign, which is kind of funny, but like we can just go ahead and now go into our Dugong, which can hopefully go for some Icy Winds, and I can go for a Shadow Ball later on fairly easily, because I think I need like 2 more fast moves. Here I make actually a huge mistake. Like, this one is okay, you don't really have to shield it, but it's okay to do this. This is way too risky. You don't have to do this. Like, it's completely unnecessary to go for the Icy Wind here, and I realized it afterwards as well. Was like, why did I do this even? Like, this was the win con of the opponent, but they decided to use another shield. We have some like I have so many frame dumps recently, it is really annoying. Cost me quite a lot of games as well, but we can still win this one here at least. Honestly, while I'm recording, I'm like really close to the veteran rank as well, which is kind of nice, because like only a few players actually hit this yet. But Honestly, I most likely would have already hit it without all the frame drops that you had recently. It is really kind of unplayable in a lot of games for me, which is really annoying because at least I lost like 3 or 4 games already because of this. And if you kind of count it up, like basically 3 to 4 games is around like, yeah, like 80 to 100 elo that you lose by this, and it's kind of annoying. So yeah, it is what it is. You're gonna see the erosion rate against us. I decided to not even like play anything around here. I'm just going to decide to go for the full farm down. I could have went for the charge move here, which would have been kind of nice as well for us, but as long as they're gonna go back into their lead, which was of course that Empoleon, we would be fine. But now they're swapping into a Dugong, and now we have a problem because they're going to have the hardest answer against our Carbink in the bag. The Pokemon that I want to have against the opponent's Dugong is still in my bag basically, but I cannot really swap out into it. So my only play here is to swap back into my Trevenant, try to hope that they would swap out. They did not, and now I am in a really tough spot. I'm forced to go into my Dugong, and the opponent makes a ginormous mistake. They decided to go for the Empoleon, and so we were able to knock them out even though they had still shield left as well. And now this game is over, especially as they let this move go through, because they don't know that we have rock type damage against like the opponent here in the back, and so they needed definitely the shield there more than the damage that we got onto them, and so we can just go for the full farm down and we can easily win this one. Next opponent, horrible lead, horrible say swap. Literally kind of getting a ward here so far. We're going to have a Bomber Snow in the lead. There's also something where I feel like maybe Poliwrath is kind of nicer, but again, like then most people are pairing their Bomber Snow together with something like a Lantern, and so it is going to be a little bit of a tough one because, yeah, Lantern is just a great core together with us. But here we're going to encounter the Empoleon, which is going to take that drill run pretty well actually. Like if they were Shadowed, it would have been so much better for us, and maybe I should have used a shield here, but I decided not to. It's going to be the drill pack, and yeah, I decided to go ahead and go into my Trevenant again, which is going to be okay because he can swap out immediately into our Carbink. This will allow us to catch a drill pack without having to use any shields, which might be our only player winning this game, but yeah, what can I say? I need to have something in the back here basically that would be a little bit more neutral. Here we literally just got completely hardwalled. Like there was not a lot that I can do about it. We have 2 Pokemon in the back that are weak to their Pokemon in the back, plus our lead got a hard loss there as well, so it is practically impossible to still win this one, especially as our Trevenant is not really in a great spot either. I decided to use a shield here. They're gonna go for the Surf, which I guess is smart, and maybe I should have tried to go for the charge move there, but it does not really matter anyway. We can go for the Shadow Ball. This is going to be able to connect, but they're gonna make it right and just decide to use a shield. And they played really well in general here as well, I have to say, because their energy management was really smart here, and so they're going to be able to even reach another energy ball here in time, which was really smart by them. But yeah, that's going to be it for this game. A good game there, but again, kind of hard countered, but it is what it is. There will be no team, by the way, in this meta where you don't get completely hardwalled by a certain different team, because it's a very small meta, very RPS meta. It is kind of important to, yeah, kind of have bulk, I have to say. Like here, for example, this team is also kind of great because you have in the lead a Pokemon that's not really bulky, but it's going to do a ton of damage with a fast move plus the charge move that it has. So you can kind of invest your shields in your lead. Then your Say-Swap is kind of like mid-tier bulk in terms of it, and also can really help out in the 2-shield scenario with Icy Wind, because Icy Wind and 2 shields is kind of wild because the opponent basically does not do any damage after a while. And then in the back you have a Pokemon where you basically just don't want shields and don't need shields. Basically the best scenario for the Carbink is a 0 shield scenario in my opinion, because the opponent, like, you basically don't generate energy so fast, so you're going to be able to at least hit 1 nuke and you still does a lot of fast move damage, while the opponent is not going to ramp up their energy that fast. And like 2 shields, for example, they can just go ahead and just get so many charge moves onto you. Here 0 shields is kind of what you want. We want to farm down the opponent's Ferrothorn as we can go for another charge move here with our Trevenant, getting the Shadow Ball. It's going to be shielded, and so I decided to let this move go through, expecting an Acid Spray from the opponent, and it was an Acid Spray, which is really great for us as well, but they can go for another one. I'm forced to use a shield. If this would be a Scald, it is a Scald. This would be very bad for us, but they swap out into a Trevenant, and now we see like the beauty. That's what I mean with like 0 shield is the best scenario for the Carbink. We can just go for a big Moonblast, and this is just connecting, doing a ton of damage. We can use a 1 shield for us, of course. It's not the 0 shield for us, of course, here, but we can just farm them all the way down, and we can still reach another Rock Slide, showcasing again how strong Carbink is in this current meta. Moving on, we're going to have a very good lead for us. It's exactly where I kind of want to have the Poliwrath because our backline is pretty weak against it. They're going to go straight for the charge move here and was like, oh, that's just a power punch. No, they are running Mud Shot. I did not really see this in the beginning, but they are running Mud Shot and not Counter, which is a smart play. I feel like Icy Wind plus Dynamic Punch and Mud Shot is actually kind of a smart idea for this current meta, because Counter is getting resisted by quite a lot of Pokemon, and like with Mud Shot and the Icy Wind, you can even beat something like a Tropius, I would imagine you can beat. So definitely cool tech play here. I like it a lot. Like, shouts to the opponent here. Great idea. But we can still try to take some advantage here as well, as we can try to go for the full farm down, but they have a Ferrothorn in the back. And basically, this is game over already, because our backline is losing hard to Ferrothorn. So, my only hope here is that the opponent is going to have in the back a Pokemon that is going to be weak to Carbink, because if they don't have a Pokemon that's weak to Carbink, it is kinda game over already. They can go for another charge move here, knocking us out for sure. And so we still have our Shadow Ball, and we have to hope that they're going to decide to let this move go through here. Let's see if this is going to work out. We can go for the Shadow Ball. Please don't shield. Please don't shield, and they don't shield, and they have a Dugong. It is still not game over for us basically here, but also it's still going to be very close, as the Dugong has a super effective Drill Run. But what we can see here as well is that the opponent is going to struggle to two-shot us basically with the Drill Run, which is going to be amazing, as now we can go for one charge move. I expect them that they're going to try to catch my move onto the Poliwrath. In comes now a Drill Run. Can we farm down the Poliwrath? Let's find out here together. We cannot, and this is going to be so bad. They're going to have, of course, mod shots, so they're going to get to the move very fast, but it is going to be actually here the move of the Icy Wind. We can still survive, we can still go for a Rock Slide. It is not enough. We can go into our Trevenant, and we can still get one more fast move in to win this game. Next opponent, second to last game, horrible lead again. We can swap out here into our Dugong against the Abomasnow, which is kind of a neutral matchup, especially in the two-shield scenario. Your fast move is really adding up, and of course they're forced to go for Energy Ball, but if we get hard counted in the lead, we can also get hard counted as a save swap here, as the opponent swaps into their Ferrothorn. Not too sure if actually using a shield here would have been smart. Let's find out. Okay, I don't think so. Like, I thought of like going for a shield and then go for the Ice Wind, which maybe would have not two-shot me then, but it looks like it still would two-shot me. And so we're going to be in a tough spot, because the opponent is going to be able to go for another Power Whip, knocking me out here, and I can at least get some energy with my Trevenant. This is basically all that I can really do here. And maybe I can actually still get a shield back from the opponent, as we got rid at least of one of the answers for the Carbink. I have a Pokemon that Carbink can deal with the Abomasnow here. And I can still go for one charge move against them, which can hopefully get the shield from them, which does actually work out very well for us here. But again, we just get completely hardwalled the entire way through. Basically, I feel like if you encounter a Abomasnow lead, it is going to be tough, because usually the backline that you have to run with this is kind of hardwalling our backline as well. So definitely Abomasnow, not really the Pokemon that you want to face, but it is what it is. Here we can still try our best. Maybe we can still have a chance of coming back from this game. My only hope at this point is to try to farm them down with my Trevenant. And so that's exactly what I'm going to try to do here. Hopefully can go for the full farm against the Lantern. Let's see. They can actually go ahead and swap out already, which is a little bit tricky. Seed Bomb is coming through. Can I outspeed them? Maybe I can still actually reach another Shadow Ball in time. Let's find out here. The opponent goes for the first charge move, but do they have another one stored? It's going to be very close. We already have a Seed Bomb stored. We can barely not reach this move. Literally just a few energy points were missing, and so we can move on to the final one for today. Mirror Lead. And honestly, I think what you kind of want to do, at least with the IV spread that I have, I think you can just go for the full farm down if you decide to just use one shield. Like, you're gonna go ahead and go for the full farm down, but the opponent decides to swap out into their Tentacruel. Here, I kind of want to stay in for a little bit and try to get just basically the shield from them again. And now I can swap out into my Dugong, and with the extra damage of our fast move, we might be able to just one-shot them with one Drill Run. But the opponent is running Sludge Wave here, a move that I did not expect on this Pokemon at all. And this is going to make this matchup 10 times worse, because now they can actually go ahead and realign their Pokemon. Not worth it at all for us to use a shield here. Did not expect Sludge Wave. Great tech move again here, kinda caught me off guard. Completely shifts the matchup as well, so very smart by the opponent. They swap back into their own Trevenant, and I can go ahead and use one shield and farm them all the way down. That's basically my best play here to go for this one. See, the is coming through. They're going to have their own Carbink in the back. So basically, we have a very similar team. They just use Tentacruel instead as a safe swap, so maybe this works out very well for them as well. Here, I decided to stay in for a little bit longer than I maybe should have, but I kinda had to. The opponent goes for their own charge move. It's going to be the Moonblast. I have to go for my own Moonblast as well now, and I should swap out here at this point, but honestly, I think I kinda make a mistake. Yeah, I decided to not swap out at all, thinking that I might be able to just farm them all the way down. And I feel like this was a little bit of a mistake, because if I swapped out, I most likely would have been able to force him to throw like this. We're going to have a draw here at the end, which is kind of fun as well, but I think this was a winnable game for sure. But that's also going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you later for, or like tomorrow, for a very fun showcase for the Ultra League.